Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. This is a quote by Frank Herbert, the author of Dune. Today, I want to discuss overcoming your fear of failure. I want to discuss where these beliefs stem from, how to identify them, and how to overcome them. And this is all while I'm overcoming my own fear. So, I've been going to the driving range for the past 2 years. I've been trying to pick up golf, and I haven't played a game of golf yet. And that is because of my fear of failure. I have a fear of being too slow, and as a result, I fear that I'd be judged or criticized negatively. And it's something that holds us back. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of judgment all stems from the same beliefs. It stems from during our childhood while we're growing up, we learn that it isn't okay to make mistakes. And from my childhood, this was often the case. Anytime that I didn't meet expectations or I made a mistake, the result was punishment. And as a result, I learned that in order to feel loved and avoid punishment, I couldn't fail. I couldn't make a mistake. And this is a cause of the fear of failure. And as experienced in my life, people with the fear of failure are less prone to take risks and might hide their needs and wants that might potentially result in the fear of failure. And a key distinction that I want to outline that the fear isn't about the activity itself. It's about the feelings you get when you make a mistake, when you fail. And that just all reminds you of the times when you felt unloved as a child. Subconsciously, these are all beliefs that we still hold on to, and they're beliefs that we adopted while we were a child in order to survive. But now that we're adults, now that we're older, it's important to recognize how these behaviors and beliefs may be holding us back and how they're not serving the role anymore. And they're actually preventing us from being able to live the lives we want to live. Now, I want to reiterate it's completely normal and fine to feel fear. After all, if you don't feel any type of fear, you're actually a sociopath. But it's important to not let fear drive our lives. Now that you know where these beliefs and fears stem from, let's go over how to actually identify your fears. Some fears are easy to identify: fear of public speaking, fear of raising your hand, fear of talking to a person. These are all common fears that young men experience. And sometimes we actually hide our deepest fears and desires underneath all the stories that we tell ourselves. An example is like, let's say you want to talk to this person, but because of the fear of failure, rejection, criticism, embarrassment, you paint yourself stories in order to, as a defense mechanism, in order to um, protect yourself from these potential fears, right? So you may think, oh, they're already taken, they're not interested in me, when there has been no evidence or no verifiable proof of any of those kinds of things. And by having those thoughts and beliefs, it only serves to reinforce the fear. So, in order to reach your potential, it's important to correctly identify the fears that you have in your life that are holding you back. And in order to do this, what I want you to do is I want you to sit down, set a timer for 50 minutes, and answer the question: what would you do if you weren't afraid? I want you to jot down everything that's on your mind, and I want you to do this in the absence of any sort of negative self judgment. So anything that comes up, just write it down. If you want to make sure that what you're writing down is what you actually want, give it a few days and try to practice again. And anything that's similar in between the two lists gives you a bit of a sense of what it is that you desire from the inside and what it is that you're being held back by because of your fear. Now that you have identified your fears, it's time to overcome them. What I want you to do is with the list, I want you to rank the activities from the least fearful to the most fearful. And what you're going to do is you're going to practice them. You're going to do them. Okay. So take the least fearful, perform that, and gradually progress. Now, it's important while you're doing this that you actually schedule it in your calendar, put it on your to-do list, actually go out and plan to do these activities that make you fearful. And I've been in the habit of this, but sometimes when we work on these things, we'll say, oh, we'll just work on it when the time or situation comes. And when that time or situation comes, we're not ready to work on it because we're not in the right mindset, in the mood, or whatever. But when you actually seek out these activities when you're in the right mindset and the mood, then it makes it more likely that you're able to overcome them and achieve your goals. And if something is too fearful on the list, then you could always start slow, right? We always break it down and try to perform it a little bit easier. So an example is I had a fear of parallel parking in the past. And so what I did in order to overcome this was go out at a time when there weren't too many cars. And the more comfortable I got with that, then the moment that there were some cars, I was still a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, but because I practiced without there being any cars, then I was able to perform the activity. I was able to accomplish the task. And over time, gradually, that got easier and easier. That at this point, I don't really have any issues with the parallel parking. And you will find that by slowly working through your list, you will be able to heal that inner child wound that tells you that you're only valuable if you don't make mistakes. And by challenging your fears, you will stumble, you will have setbacks, you will fail. But it's through acknowledging your fears and facing them anyway is how you will develop the confidence that regardless of the outcome, you will be okay and that you're valuable. And this is how you overcome your fear of failure. Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thank you.